Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Global Atheist News Roundup, dateline 29th of June 2024. This week's headlines. At least 1,301 people died during the Hajj in Saudi Arabia. On Palestinian TV, a Muslim preacher revealed that their real goal is to commit genocide against the Jews for the sake of Allah. Shutting Afghan women out of a key UN conference to appease the Taliban would be a betrayal. 20 were dead in attacks on churches and a synagogue in southern Russia. International human rights lawyer Hillel Neuer silences the entire Arab world at the UN Human Rights Council. A Muslim-led US city bans gay pride flags. There is a probe into a Welsh school for promoting creationism. Hundreds of Scottish churches have been put up for sale. An Italian archbishop says he faces a Vatican trial over his Pope Francis criticism. A rector had to speak out over church discrimination before resigning. The Supreme Court briefly leaked an opinion allowing Idaho abortions. Nigerian Christians showed up to worship in their church after it had been burned down by Islamists. And Jerry Seinfeld has the last word. Here is the news in detail. At least 1,301 people died during the Hajj, Saudi Arabia says, mostly unauthorized pilgrims who walked long distances. About 1.8 million people took part this year, and the pilgrimage happened during a heat wave with temperatures at times exceeding 50 degrees centigrade, 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Some of those who died were elderly or chronically ill. Hajj is the annual pilgrimage made by Muslims to the holy city of Mecca. All Muslims who are financially and physically able must complete the pilgrimage at least once in their lifetime. Health facilities treated nearly 500,000 pilgrims, including more than 140,000 who did not have a permit, and some were still in hospital for heat exhaustion. May Allah forgive and have mercy on the deceased. Our heartfelt condolences go to their families, was said by a representative of Saudi Arabia. During an Islamic sermon on Palestinian TV, a popular Muslim preacher explained that Palestinian Muslims do not want a sovereign state. He revealed that their real goal is to commit genocide against the Jews for the sake of Allah. He added that Islam's scriptures give Muslims the right to murder Jews because Jews endanger all humanity. See this video.
ودائما يتآمرون على البشرية ليس على المسلمين فقط وإنما على البشرية جمعاء تمر فيهم هذه الجينات الخبيثة وهذه الصفات اللعينة المستقذرة من جيل إلى جيل ويتوارثونها كابرا عن كابر. لا يمكنه للبشرية أبدا أن تتعايش معه. احصهم عددا واقتلهم بددا ولا تغادر منهم أحدا.
The Taliban are reportedly demanding that no Afghan women should be allowed to participate in the UN meeting in Doha starting tomorrow. This is set up to discuss the international community's approach to Afghanistan, and they say that women's rights should not be on the agenda. Since taking power in Afghanistan in August 2021, the Taliban have restricted women's access to education, employment, and public spaces. In March, it was reported that they would reintroduce the public flogging and stoning of women for adultery. The Taliban did not participate in UN talks earlier this year, with the UN chief Antonio Guterres saying at the time that the group presented a set of conditions for its participation that denied us the right to talk to other representatives of the Afghan society, and that was not acceptable. Tirana Hassan, executive director at Human Rights Watch, said, "Excluding women risks legitimizing the Taliban's abuses and triggering irreparable harm to the UN's credibility as an advocate for women's rights and women's meaningful participation." Attacks on police posts, churches and a synagogue in Russia's North Caucasus Republic of Dagestan have left 20 people dead, most of them police officers. 5 gunmen were also killed. At least 46 people were taken to hospital with injuries. 3 days of mourning have been declared in Dagestan, which is a predominantly Muslim republic in southern Russia, with which neighbours Chechnya. The apparently coordinated attacks targeted the cities of Derbent and Makhachkala on the Orthodox festival of Pentecost, with an Orthodox priest among those killed. Russian media report that at around 1800 local time on Sunday, gunmen opened fire with automatic weapons on an Orthodox church and a synagogue in Derbent, which is home to an ancient Jewish community. 2 gunmen were said to have then retreated into a nearby building, where police later said they were killed. The Hillel Neuer synagogue was severely damaged by fire. At around the same time, in the city of Makhachkala, 2 gunmen ran into an Orthodox church, tried to burn its main icon, and then opened fire. Videos on social media showed heavy shooting also taking place outside the church when gunmen dressed in black took aim at passing police cars with automatic weapons. A police post near the Makhachkala synagogue was also attacked. In the nearby village of Surgokala, a police officer was injured a few hours later when a police car was attacked. Later, the head of the Republic of Dagestan, Sergei Melikov, said at least 15 police officers had been killed. Dagestan has in the past been the scene of Islamist attacks. International human rights lawyer Hillel Neuer silenced the entire Arab world at the UN Human Rights Council after they dared to criticize the human rights record of Israel, that is, the Jewish state. He did it with one simple question: where are your Jews? After the re-establishment of the State of Israel, the Arabs not only tried to destroy that Jewish state, but also tried to get rid of the Jewish minority in their own states. Jews suffered brutal oppression, persecution, and ethnic cleansing from many Arab Muslim countries, including Algeria, Jordan, Kuwait, Libya, Lebanon, Iraq, and Syria. See this video.
Now the previous speaker can continue.
Thank you, Mr. President. Israel's 1.5 million Arabs, whatever challenges they face, enjoy full rights to vote and to be elected in the Knesset. They work as doctors and lawyers. They serve on the Supreme Court. Now, I'd like to ask the members of that commissioned that report, the Arab states from which we just heard, Egypt, Iraq, and the others, how many Jews live in your countries? How many Jews lived in Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Libya, Morocco? Once upon a time, the Middle East was full of Jews. Algeria had 140,000 Jews. Algeria, where are your Jews? Egypt used to have 75,000 Jews. Where are your Jews? Syria, you had tens of thousands of Jews. Where are your Jews? Iraq, you had over 135,000 Jews. Where are your Jews? Mr. President, where is the real apartheid? Why is there a UN commission on the Middle East that does not include Israel? From the 1960s and the 70s, they refused to include Israel. Where is the apartheid, Mr. President? Mr. President, why are we meeting today on an agenda item singling out only one state, the Jewish state, for targeting? Where is the apartheid, Mr. President?
Many liberals celebrated when Hamtramck in Michigan elected a Muslim-majority council back in 2015, but their recent vote to exclude LGBTQ plus flags from city property has since soured relations. In Wales, there are calls for a school to be investigated after promoting creationism on an evangelistic Christian course. The National Secular Society, NSS, said it had obtained images of wall displays at Llanidloes High School in Powys showing marine life and the solar system between lines from the Bible, such as "Great are the works of the Lord" and "God created the creatures of the sea." The NSS is calling for a ban on teaching creationism in schools in Wales, saying it undermines teaching about evidence-based theories such as evolution. The Welsh government said community schools are not permitted to have a religious leaning. But while teaching creationism as a scientific theory is banned in England, the promotion of creationism is not prohibited in schools in Wales. The Church of Scotland is selling 100 historic buildings to free up funds after a drastic decline in the number of worshippers and ministers. Churches, plots of land and former council houses, some dating back to the 1700s, have been listed for sale in what the Church has described as a painful move. The Church of Scotland has lost 1 million members since 2001, and the majority of Scots say they have no religion. It has also lost 40% of its ministers. A former Catholic Church diplomat and virulent critic of Pope Francis has said the Vatican is putting him on trial for denying the pontiff's legitimacy. Carlo Mario Vigano, 83, an ultra-conservative who was the Vatican's ambassador to the US from 2011 to 2016, said the powerful Department of Doctrine had summoned him on Thursday to hear the charges. In posts in several languages on X, Vigano said the Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith had set out accusations of having committed the crime of schism, that is, splitting the Catholic Church. He was also charged with having denied the legitimacy of Pope Francis, of having broken communion with him, and of having rejected the Second Vatican Council back in the 1960s, which set the Church on a modernizing path. An outgoing church leader who accused the Church of England of institutional homophobia and misogyny said he felt compelled to speak out and challenge injustice. Reverend Canon Dr. Crispin Paling said there was a structural discrimination against women and the LGBTQ plus community. The Diocese of Liverpool said it recognised that opinions differ on same-sex marriage across its churches and that they were saddened by Dr. Paling's departure. Dr. Paling, an advocate for the equal treatment of same-sex marriage and opposite-sex marriage in the Church, announced his resignation earlier this year. He said, "If we don't speak out where we see people being discriminated against, then how are we going to challenge injustice in society?" The US Supreme Court accidentally leaked a major opinion on abortion rights, appearing ready to overturn part of Idaho's near-total ban. According to a document published on the court's website, then quickly removed, justices will rule that Idaho cannot deny emergency abortion to women whose health is in danger. The court said the opinion was inadvertently and briefly published, and that its final decision had not yet been released, but it would be presented in due course. This publication, however, comes 2 years after the leaking of the court's decision to overturn the national right to abortion access known as Roe v. Wade, and since then a patchwork of abortion laws has been established as more conservative states, such as Idaho, restrict rights to the procedure. Idaho is one of 14 states banning abortions at all stages of pregnancy, with extremely limited exceptions. Islamists burned down their church, but Nigerian Christians showed up to worship in the burnt-out building. See this video.
We praise your name, Jesus Christ, to protect us, to guide us, Lord, to see us through, to fight for us, to give us hope in the name of Jesus.
And Jewish comedian Jerry Seinfeld deals with a heckler. Watch this video.
Yes. We have a genius, ladies and gentlemen. He solved the Middle East. He solved this. It's the Jewish comedians. That's what we have to get. They're the ones doing everything. Yeah, go ahead, keep going. They're going to start punching you in about 3 seconds, so I would try and get all of your genius out so we can all learn from you. It's a comedy show, you moron. Get out of here.
Stop the
Okay. Yeah, this is so important. Imagine, by the way, imagine if this guy actually did solve the Yes, so you're really influencing everyone here. We're all on your side now because you have made your point so well and in the right venue. You come to the right place for a political conversation. Tomorrow we will read in the paper, Middle East 100% solved thanks to man at the Kudos Arena stopping Jew comedian. They stopped him and everyone in the Middle East went, oh my God, let's just get along. We can't do that. Because I know there are problems here with indigenous Aboriginal people and the white people. They have problems here. So maybe to solve that, I will screw up Jim Jeffries in a show in New York. If this works, that will work. You have to go 20,000 miles from the problem and screw up a comedian. That is how you solve world issues. All right.
Following this news, Tercia and I will be chatting with Jason Hoplin, a Californian computer expert who is an active atheist. You can join in by text. Set the notifications. This has been Global Atheist News. Please like, subscribe and share. Thank you for watching.